Hi everyone, welcome to our second week of our summer reading program, Tales and Tales. This is our craft video day. It's Wednesday, 1 o'clock. So welcome if you're joining me online, and welcome later if you're doing this on YouTube. Today we are doing animals from South America. We're on our continent of South America, and you're going to get to make these really cute llamas. And as a second craft, we have the cute sloth. Now, if you picked up your grab and go bag, or if you still have to get one, that's okay, you can do that. Most of the supplies you need are in the grab and go bag. We're going to start with the llama. So in your bag for the llama, you're going to have a paper plate, and you're going to have this fun ribbon. This is called eyelash ribbon, and it's stuff I've had in my stash forever, and it's so much fun to use to wrap around things. I use it when I'm making cards, but they work great for the llama. So, in the bag, once you get out your paper plate and you get out your eyelash ribbon, you're going to find the instructions. So I'm going to read the instructions through. It says this should take 30 minutes. Actually, it probably doesn't take 30 minutes. We can probably do it quicker. But the materials you need are the paper plate, the colored yarn. It says mini pom-poms because on theirs they glued on some mini pom-poms, but I decided he was cute even without the pom-poms. But if you have some of those little things at home, little fuzzy things, or maybe you have some little glittery gems, you could add them to your llama if you'd like to. Then it says to have sticky tape. So I just have my tape dispenser from here at work. It says you need glue. I have the glue stick, but if you have the glue that is, you know, the drops of glue, the Elmer's glue in the bottle, that works too. I'd have a glue stick. Then it says you need colored paper. The colored paper is if this was made as a Valentine craft. So if you want to add hearts to your llama, that's what you need the colored paper for. You can just cut out some hearts and add to it. I didn't put that in there because I'm not making mine as a Valentine llama. I'm just making him a llama, regular llama. It does not say, but you do need scissors because we're going to cut our paper plate. And it says, no, it doesn't say. Yes, it does. It says colored Sharpie pens. Well, I don't have my Sharpie pens, but I have crayons. I have my big bucket of crayons. So I'm going to use, on my llama, I colored his ears yellow and his nose yellow, or yellow. Oh my goodness, send me back to kindergarten. It's pink. His ribbon is yellow. So I did his ears pink, and I did his nose pink, and I used black for the eyes and the mouth. So I'm just going to get out my black and my pink crayon. But if you want to use a different color, maybe you want your llama's ears to be yellow, or maybe you want them to be blue or green, the inside parts. This is your llama. He can be whatever color he wants. Maybe he's a rainbow llama. Use whatever crayons you want. Don't have to have the Sharpie markers, just use the crayons. So I'm going to set that all aside, and my instructions say cut off the sides of a paper plate. It says about 1.5 inches. I'm not going to measure, I'm going to eyeball. So I'm measuring, actually it would be from like this way. I'm gonna go about this far and just cut off one edge. This is going to become one of the ears. So now I gotta go to the other side. I'm gonna turn it around so I'm cutting from the same direction. I'm gonna eyeball it again. And I'm just gonna cut off that side. I need bigger scissors for my big hands. And it really isn't going to matter if I get it straight or not. So there's my llama's head. And these now become my llama's ears. I got them backwards, upside down. These become my llama's ears. One thing we learned this week when I did story time at Rally Point, we read a book called Llama or Alpaca. How do you tell the difference? They look the same. They're both tall. They have long necks. They're fluffy. how do you tell the difference between a llama and an alpaca? We found out that a llama has long, straight ears. So these are the llama ears. If it was an alpaca, they would be small and triangular. They'd only be about this big on an alpaca. So this is the llama. He has the long, tall, straight ears. Now my instructions say use your Sharpie pens to color the middle of your ears. Well, that's where I colored my pink, or whatever color you're going to use. Since I'm stuck on pink, I have my pink crayon. I'm just gonna color, this is going to be the outside, so I'm gonna try to stay right. You can kind of see the spot inside before the ribs start on my plate. There's a nice semi-circle spot in there. So I'm just gonna color my ear. The inside part of my llama's ear. And you can make it as big or as small as you want. So there's one inside of my ear. Now I'm gonna take my other one. My ears are not the same. One's bigger than the other, and that's okay. It doesn't matter. So now I'm gonna color this inside part of my ear. I'm gonna trace out my semicircle so I know how much I want to color in pink. I wonder if llamas would have purple inside their ears. Do you suppose a llama could have purple? If purple was your favorite color, your llama could have a purple inside of the ear. Okay, I'm gonna color this one just a little bit darker. Make it really look pink. And now I have my ears colored. The next thing says trim a little off the top of each ear to make it slightly rounded. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm just going to round off. Instead of having it be the point, I'm just gonna round it off like that. See how the other one is a point? Now this one's rounded. So now I gotta do the same thing to this one. Just take my scissors and cut off around the top so the ear is rounded. And you know what I did? The llama's ears aren't going the same way. I cut off the wrong end. I'm gonna turn this one around and I'm gonna change this point to the rounded end. I did when I made my other one, my practice one, I did the same thing. Okay, so now my llama's ears go one on each side and they're both rounded at the top. How do I put them on there? Let's see, let's get my llama back. I decided his face was going to be like the back side of the plate. I want the rounded part of his face out rather than having it coming in. I want this part to be his face. So I'm going to add my ears, and this is where you can use glue or you can use the tape, whichever way you want to do. I'm going to do glue. I'm going to take my glue stick, and I know my ears are going to stand straight up on the back. So all I have to do is put glue, put a big bunch of glue right there. And when I put my llama ear on, this one goes on that side, so this one goes on this side. I want to make sure I get them right. I'm just going to attach the ear. Oh, doesn't want to stick. I'm gonna have to hold it. Now I have one ear on. It's right at the top of his head. Oh, you know what? Stop. Don't glue it on yet. Take that ear back off. Don't glue it on. I forgot to read my instructions. That's what happens. My instructions say, once I have trimmed off the top of each ear, it says, draw your llama face in the middle section of the paper plate. Well, I can do that, but I'm gonna come back to that. Glue the ears. Oh, give your llama texture by snipping a wavy line along the sides and across the top of the llama's head to look like wool. So if I'm gonna do some snipping across the top of the head, I have to do that before I put on my ear. So what they're talking about is just making a wavy, just doing like a hump and a hump, and give it And the wavy hair at the top. Whoops. Just give it a wavy hair at the top. Oh, my poor llama. There we go. See now how it's got the wavies? And then you do that also on the side. So just make some curves. Whoops. Like you're making waves. Just little humps cutting around the edges. It's going to give my llama the texture to make it look like he really is furry. So cut, cut. There's one side, all curvy. Now I'm gonna come over here and do the other side. I'm gonna turn it so I'm looking at it. Cut, cut. Just make some wavy, wiggly cuts. Does not have to be perfect. It's your llama. Maybe he hasn't brushed his hair yet today. All right, ooh. There. There it is. Now I've cut the wavies across the top, along one side, and along the other side. I don't have to do it to the bottom. I can leave the bottom alone. All right, now I'm going to go back. And before I put my ears on, I'm going to draw the llama face. What does a llama need on his face? Well, my llama is sleeping, so his eyes or her eyes are closed. And I used a heart to make the nose and then just the little mouth underneath the nose. You can make open eyes, you can make closed eyes, you can make one eye winking. You can do whatever you want. I was looking up some other eyes. So I'm gonna take my black crayon and I'm gonna make, let me see. I'm gonna do like these for eyes, the half circles. I'm gonna give my llama some eyelashes. Draw on some eyelashes. Okay. Now the face I saw gave the llama little eyes right underneath. I think I'm gonna give my llama, I have a green crayon here. My llama's gonna have green eyes. So I'm just gonna draw a circle eyeball underneath the top eyelash and do another circle eyeball under the other eyelash. And there, I have a green-eyed llama. Maybe your llama is pink eyes, or maybe it's purple eyes, or blue eyes, or brown eyes, whatever color eyes you want. Or maybe your eyes aren't even open. I really do like the heart for the nose. So under the eyes, I'm going to draw a heart. Ooh, he's gonna have a big nose. I don't know if you can see that. Just freehand draw a heart color in that nose. Come here, llama. You really do have a big nose. Maybe yours is black. Maybe your llama's nose is black, or maybe it's brown, or maybe it's gray. Whatever color you want. There's my llama's nose. Now he needs his mouth. And he's got, I'm gonna use my black. He's got a line drawn under the heart. Maybe your nose isn't a heart. Maybe it's a triangle. Maybe it's a circle. So I got my line drawn down. I want his mouth to be a little bit longer than my first one. I thought his mouth was a little bit small. So I got my line now. I just have to draw my two little waves on either side. And my poor llama's mouth looks like it's way off center when I'm looking at it. Oh my goodness. But that's okay. Maybe he's like thinking. Maybe he's thinking about spitting. Because llamas spit. Did you know that llamas spit? Yuck. I don't want him to spit. So I hope he's really not thinking about that. And then if you want to be fun, maybe you want to give him some cheeks. Put some round pink cheeks on your llama. I'm not going to make mine very dark because I don't want his cheeks to be really showing up like his nose. Although, I could also take my black crayon and outline his nose to match his mouth. Ooh, there you can really see it. And then I can make his cheeks a little bit darker. There he is. It's your llama face. You can make yours however you want. And I'm getting close to being done with my llama. Next, I am going to add the ears. It is time to add the ears. I'm going to need to add some more glue to the back of my llama. So I'm just going to put a bunch of glue on there and make sure I have the right ear going the right direction. So now, let's glue you on there, llama ear. Ooh, there it is. I've got it glued on. It's sticking on there pretty good now. There's one ear. My llama has 2 ears. I don't want it to go that way. That's not the way his ear goes. I want to put it on that way. So, glue. Put some glue on there, glue, glue, glue. And then make sure I have it going the right way when I stick it on the back. Ooh, push it on there. Let's see, do his ears look straight? Here we go. Gotta hold it on there just a little, oops. Come on here. Press it on there, hold it on there. Make sure the glue is sticking. Stick to it, llama. And there you go. He's got his ears. My llama has his ears on. Or maybe it's a her. I keep calling him him. Maybe it's a her llama. Maybe she needs a girl name. Now, the only thing I have left to do from my original llama is add the yarn. And this is where the tape. You could use the glue, but the glue's probably not going to hold it so well. So I'm gonna close up my glue. And this is where I'm going to take a piece of tape. On the back of my llama, excuse me, I am going to take one end of my yarn and I'm gonna tape it. I wanna make sure it's on his neck. So I'm gonna tape that piece of yarn right there. Now all I have to do is wrap my yarn around the llama's neck. Wrap it around behind, wrap it in front. Did I make enough? Oh, I barely have enough to cover up and tape it on the back. Ooh, there we go. And there's my llama's necklace. You know, I don't know. Is it his necklace? Is it a collar? Does my llama have a collar? My tape isn't long enough, so I have to tape it again. Bigger piece of tape. And there it is. There's my llama. Llama, llama. I have, maybe since I have two, I have a boy llama and a girl llama. Oh my goodness. Pretty easy to make a llama, wasn't it? And they're so cute. Llamas live in South America. Llamas have, the way to tell the difference between a llama and an alpaca is llamas have long ears. Alpacas have short triangle ears. Llamas actually have a long face, where an alpaca has a smaller face. Llamas are taller than alpacas, and llamas are used to carry loads for people. Like if you're going on a trip across the desert and you need to carry a lot of stuff, you can pack it on your llama and the llama will carry it. The one thing I found out about llamas is if the pack is too heavy, they are not gonna move. They're going to sit down, they're gonna lay down, and they are not going to move. Llamas are kind of cute, but they're also fun to make a llama. Okay, did you get your llama made? I'd love to see them. Share some pictures with me or bring it into the library and show me. Now that we've made our llama, we're gonna set the llama aside. I'm gonna move all my scraps away so they're not in my way for my next one, because now we're going to make the sloth. In your grab and go bag, you have the llama instructions. On the back of the llama instructions are the sloth instructions. So you have them right there with you to follow along. You will also have a brown piece of cardstock. You're going to trace your hand on the brown. This is going to be the sloth's body. You will also have this sheet. It has a branch on it. It has leaves on it. It has sloth eyes, the sloth face, and the sloth head. So you will need these 2 pieces of paper from your grab-and-go bag to make the sloth. Then you're going to need, it says materials on my instruction sheet. Materials are colored cardstock or construction paper, which we have. Scissors, I have my scissors with me. Glue, got the glue stick or whatever kind of glue you're using. It says a black marker, but once again, I have my crayons. So I have my black crayon. I have a green crayon because I'm going to color the leaves for my branch. I have a couple different brown crayons to color for the branch and to do some stuff with the sloth's face. It says a pencil. The pencil is what you would use to trace around your hand, but I didn't bring a pencil. I'm just going to use my crayon. Crayons work too. And then the sloth template, which is these pieces that I have already printed off for you. So you will need these. Download the sloth template and cut out the pieces. Well, don't cut out the pieces yet. We're going to talk about that. Take your sloth's head and line it up with the thumb side of the handprint. Well, we haven't made our handprint yet. The first thing we're going to have to do is make our handprint. Glue the sloth head in place. You may need to trim off some excess paper to make it look seamless. Glue the sloth's face to the middle of the head. Then use the black marker to draw in the eyes. Use a brown marker to draw on the sloth's nose. Make the branch by gluing the 3 leaves on the skinny end of the branch. Then interlace the sloth's arms and legs, the fingers of the handprint, around the thicker portion of the branch and glue it in place. So, I'm going to set my instructions aside. And the first thing I want to do is take my brown piece of paper and trace my hand. Well, I did one, so I wanted to see if I could use the other half of my paper. Will my hand fit? It's going to fit. So, I'm going to spread out my fingers on my hand and trace around it. You know how to do that, right? If I set this down on the table, you're not going to be able to see me do it. But you know, I just have my hand down there. I have my crayon, and I'm tracing around my fingers. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4. Come around to my thumb, all the way around my thumb. I want to go around the palm of my hand. Oh, funny. And that's what it looks like when I traced it. I bet you've made handprint turkeys before. You just trace your hand the same way. Now to finish off my sloth, I need to connect down below here between my thumb and my little finger. I want to connect my sloth. So there it is. Next, you cut it out. Just get your scissors. It says this activity should take 5 minutes, 7 minutes, or it's 5 minutes to prep, 7 minutes to actually make it, 12 minutes altogether. It's going pretty fast. So now I'm just going to cut out my handprint. My thumb looks so funny, but that's okay because it's actually going to get covered up. Cut around. I'm cutting on the lines to cut out my sloth. Ooh, making a mess. Cut my fingers. There's 1 finger. Cut up here around the 2nd finger. Now, if you did not get a grab-and-go bag, we have them here at the library, so you can come pick up the bag to get these materials, so you have them. If you already have the stuff at home and want to use your own paper, you can do that. Come up with your own sloth face, draw it on your own, you can do that. Or you can still come to the library and pick up a grab-and-go bag. I had them available at the story hours yesterday morning at 10 and this morning at 10 at Rally Point. So I know lots of kids picked them up. And there we go. There's your sloth. It's as big as your hand. It's your handprint. So now I'm going to move my garbage out of the way. I'm going to go back to my instructions. I have this sheet I didn't cut up. I don't need to cut it up. So now I'm going to go back to my instructions. It says, download the sloth template, print, and cut out the pieces. Well, I've downloaded it, so here it is. Printed it Now, before I cut out my pieces, I want to color my branch. I don't want my branch to be this color. I'm going to color it. So that's why I've got my 2 brown crayons. I'm just going to color in the branch. Nothing fancy. In fact, I do messy coloring because I know I'm going to be cutting this out. It doesn't matter if I color out of the lines. So I'll show you what I mean when I say messy coloring. I colored all the lines, and it doesn't matter because you are going to cut it out. Now, I wanted to make it look a little more branch-like, so I'm taking a darker brown color, and I'm just gonna add like some streaks of brown in there to make it look like the bark on the branch. You can do that if you want to, you don't have to. I'm just going to try to make it a little bit darker. Now I have to cut that out. So here we go. Pretty simple. Follow the lines to cut out your branch. There's only 4 lines to cut. So it's not too hard to cut out your branch. Cutting on the lines can be kind of a tricky thing. Sometimes I don't follow the lines very well and then it looks kind of messy. So I try my best to cut on the line, and here is my branch. So now when I look at my paper, I have my leaves. I'm gonna color in my leaves. Let's see. I'm gonna add, and once again, I'm doing messy coloring because I'm gonna cut it out. So if I don't stay in the lines, it's all right. I can just do some messy coloring. Okay, I made them light colored leaves. Now I'm gonna take my darker green, and I'm gonna go in there and make some like vines, the vining of the leaves. So I have a two-toned leaf. You can do that if you want to. If you just want to color it one color, you can do that too. They're your leaves. Maybe your leaves on your tree are pink. Maybe they are yellow. Maybe you're thinking of a fall tree. Now I just have to cut out my 3 leaves. So I'm not holding the whole paper. I cut out part of it. Leaves are really tiny. Don't lose them. In fact, the middle leaf is smaller than the 2 outside leaves. As I like to work with smaller paper, I just cut off part of it. Ooh, look at that little tiny leaf. Real tiny. Don't lose them. Set them aside. Don't lose them. Okay. I'm going to cut out my last leaf. And there it is. My 3 leaves are cut out, and I lost my branch. And my branch is cut out. There it is. I didn't set it aside. So I have my branch and my 3 leaves. Because I don't want to lose my leaves, I'm going to go ahead and glue them on my branch right now. One of the things I found out is the glue doesn't like to stick very well to the crayon. So I'm going to make sure I get enough glue on there. You're going to want to put the leaves on the smaller end. They go on the smaller end of your branch. So I've got 1 leaf. I'm going to take my other big leaf. I don't want to get glue all over my table, so I'm going to take one of these scraps and run the glue that way so I'm not getting glue all over the table. I'm going to put my 2nd leaf kind of on top of my 1st leaf. There we go. Now I have that teeny tiny one. I'm going to put my teeny tiny one in the middle. Once again, I'm holding it onto a piece of scrap paper. So when I do my glue is not getting all over my table. It's getting all over the piece of scrap paper that I will throw away so I don't have a table to clean up. Okay. And I'm going to put my 3rd leaf right on the top. Right there. I'm going to press it on there, hold it a little bit, because I did find out glue really didn't want to stick very well to the crayon. So there we go. Now I have my 3 leaves on the small end of my branch. I can set this aside because there's going to be my sloth going on my branch. Now in the instructions, or on your template page, you have the sloth's head. I wanted his head to stay that color, so all I'm gonna do is cut out his head. I'm gonna cut around the head, and it's going to be the color I wanted. If you want yours to be a different color, go ahead and color it before you cut it out. But I wanted mine to stay the same. So there it is. I've just cut out his face. His face is going to go on another brown piece that I have to cut out. You have the template for it. Right here it says the head, trace on light brown paper. Well, if you cut this out and put it on your sloth, let me show you. It's not going to look like it's quite right. So I'm cutting that out. You will want to cut yours out. Now, if I put this on my sloth, on the finger where I'm supposed to, for one, you see the words. For two, his head is that different color. And then if I put his face over top of it, I might be able to cover up the words, but I'm not going to see his face very well. So I am going to take this headpiece that I just cut out, and I'm going to trace it on the same piece of paper that my body was on. So I'm going to trace this. I'm going to hold this on the paper, and I'm going to trace around it. You have more paper, so you have more paper to work with, which is good. I was reusing all of my paper, so I have a smaller amount. Oh, there we are. We came back. I lost you for a minute. So there it is. I traced it. You can see my black line where I traced around it. Now I don't need this piece. Now I need to cut out this piece. So I'm going to cut out my head piece. And like I said, I had a small part because I was using my piece of paper to make 2 sloths. So that's why I had just a little bit. You should have more. Okay, now I have the head piece and the hand piece. And I want to glue my sloth head onto my fingers. So you're going to want to play around with it, position it a little bit. I see I've got the part that goes up on the inside part of my hand. I want my sloth. Do I want to even it with my fingers, or do I want his head like that? You figure out where your sloth head is going to be and then glue it on. I know it covers up my thumb, so I'm going to put glue on my thumb. Okay. And I'm going to glue it onto my thumb. So now I have that part done. Now I can see where else I need to put glue. When I'm looking at this, when I'm folding it back, I can see I need glue right along this edge to glue it on like that. Okay, whoops. I'm showing you the back side instead of the front side. All right, there's my sloth. He's got his headpiece glued on. Now I need to add his face. I'm going to glue his face right into the middle of that brown head. So I got my glue all over the face. Here's my sloth. He's hanging upside down. Sloths hang upside down from the tree. I want to put his face on the head. I'm going to put it about in the middle. And there it is. I'm just about done. Now, it said in the instructions, glue the sloth's face to the middle of the head, then use a black marker to draw in the eyes. Use a brown marker to draw in the sloth's nose. Well, by putting the already done face on there, we still need to give him a nose. And if you notice, the sloth's eyes have the brown ring around them, and this one doesn't. So this is where I need to add my face features. I need to give him a nose. So I'm gonna grab this brown, and right there's his mouth, and it's got that little line going up, so I know his nose goes there. I think I'm gonna give him another heart-shaped nose. I'm just gonna give him a heart nose because he's kind of a fun sloth. You can just give him a circle nose if you want to. You don't even have to color it in. If you want to leave it open, you can do your nose however you want. Now, I want to color his eyes because he has, it's not raccoon eyes, it's sloth eyes, but he's got that brown around his eyes. So I'm just going to draw like a line, like that. And then I want to do the same thing on this eye, like that. See how we're giving him not his raccoon eyes, but his sloth eyes? Okay. And now I'm going to color around that black eyeball pupil. Just color that brown around his eyeball. Now I can't do messy coloring. Now I have to do nice coloring because I'm not cutting it out. It is on there already. So if I want him to look nice, I have to do my nice coloring. And there he is. There's the eyes. Here we go. We are just about done. You know what we have to do now? We have to glue our sloth onto his tree branch. We are going to do a little bit of weaving. We're going to weave it through the fingers. So let's see. If I put the big end behind that finger, put it in front of this finger, behind that finger, in front of this finger. If I weave it in, you see how I did that? I just did some weaving. So behind this finger, in front of this finger, behind the next finger, in front of the next finger, and you have weaved your sloth onto the branch. You can do it the other way if you want to. If you want that in front, that in back, that in front, that in back. It's up to you which way you want your sloth hanging. It's all completely up to you. You can have him hanging however you want. Now, I need to put some glue on there so that my sloth will stay hanging on there. So I'm going to put glue on the back of the branch behind this finger. Or maybe I'll put it on this finger. Maybe I'll put glue on the finger. And then I know if I'm going to skip, I need to put glue on this next finger. So I'm just gonna do a big glue. Glue will dry. I'm just gonna glue a big strip. Now I gotta weave it again. Okay, so I put my glue in the front. I'm gonna put my branch in front, behind, in front, behind. Where is my glue? I want to make sure, oops, sloth, you need to come down there a little bit more. And I want to make sure. Okay, glue, glue. Now I want to hold that in, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this finger. And glue it down. And there, my sloth is hanging from the tree branch. I have a pair of sloths hanging from the tree branches. How did yours turn out? Did you get yours to work? I think they are so cool. If you haven't got it done yet, that's okay. Keep working until you get it done. Yours will look fabulous. We have two little sloths hanging from the tree branches. Did you know sloths spend most of their day in the tree branch sleeping? And sloths move very slowly. Okay, thank you for joining me today with these South American animals. I hope you have a great sloth. I want to see your sloths too. You can post pictures on our Facebook page. You can bring them into the library to show me. But I hope you got your sloth and your llama all made, and enjoy finding out more. Find out some more information about llamas and sloths. We have some books here at the library. I do have them on display. The ones I read at Rally Point during story hour are available. Come in and check out some books. Until next week, I hope you have a great time. Next week, we will be doing animals from Australia. So come and see. Are we doing kangaroos? Are we going to make koalas? Are we going to make crocodiles? What kind of Australian animals will we make? Thanks for joining me. See you next week.